1 year later, July 4th, 2022. Mr. President. Del groaned, sinking deeper into the mattress that hugged his tired body, the fluffy comforter like warm clouds around him. At his request, his room was kept ice cold, making him seek warmth, even in the summer. Mr. President, it's time. For what? To wake up? It can't be. Del opened one eye, checked that he had been right about the sun not being fully out, then immediately closed it again. You asked for an early wake-up. He frowned. Had he? Was there something important happening today that required his early attention? The sleep fog that had clouded his brain dissipated. He opened his eyes, both this time, and found Issa standing at a respectful distance from his bed. I did no such thing. Del didn't even need his glasses to catch Issa subtly rolling his eyes. You indicated you wanted to get a workout in before the day started, Mr. President. Same thing. Not even remotely the same thing, and you damn well know it. Besides, I meant that as a general declaration, not a specific intent for today. It's the 4th of July, damn it. I could have slept in. Issa took a step back. My apologies. I must have misinterpreted. Please continue your state of slumbering, Mr. President. Before Del could say anything, Issa had walked out, the door closing behind him with an almost inaudible click. The little shit, as if Del could go back to sleep now. Once he was awake, that was it, and he suspected Issa was well aware of that fact. With a muttered curse, he whipped off the covers and slung his legs sideways. He didn't even need to look for his glasses. They were always in the exact same spot now. He hadn't lost them since the day Issa had started working for him, though he wasn't sure if small benefits like that made up for the endless bossiness of his new body man. Half his age, Issa seemed to derive great pleasure from micromanaging Del into the littlest detail. He padded to the adjoining bathroom to do his business, then washed his hands. He braced his hands on the sink. When had all his hair gone silver? Calyx kept assuring him it looked distinguished on him, but Del wasn't convinced. Above all, he looked old. So much older than 2 years ago when he'd become president. Then again, that fit with what he'd seen of every president before him. This job aged a person, and clearly he was no exception to that rule. He wasn't even 50 yet, though that birthday was only 2 years away and much closer than he preferred to acknowledge, but he looked every bit his age, if not older. With a sigh, he turned away from the mirror. Now that he was up, he might as well get that workout in. He checked his watch. Yeah, he still had 3 hours before the military families would be here for the 4th of July barbecue he was hosting on the South Lawn. He never minded events like that, always grateful to extend a warm welcome and thank you to service members and their families. But what he was really looking forward to was the private dinner for his inner circle, his friends. Much had changed in the year since he had announced he wouldn't be running for re-election, but those friendships had only grown closer. Without his friends, he wouldn't even have made it this far. Resigned to the fact he had no excuse not to work out, he threw on a pair of shorts, then velcroed his thin bulletproof vest, put on a wide shirt to somewhat hide it, and laced up his running shoes. A baseball cap was his feeble attempt at disguising himself, though most people picked up on his identity quickly enough once they spotted the 4 Secret Service agents accompanying him. Oh, the Secret Service had not been happy when he had taken up his running habit again, after Kingmakers and all their accomplices had been arrested, but they'd accommodated him nonetheless. In return, he wasn't happy with the 4 agents in the vest, not to mention the fact that he couldn't pick her out, but had to leave that to the agents, so he wouldn't become too predictable. But he, too, had adapted. That was life as POTUS. Compromising was key.